Charlie here. Today we're learning the different kinds of yans. We're starting with Yandere. Yandere is a term used for a person who seems loving and caring to whoever their love interest is. However, their devotion becomes destructive. The word stems from yanderu, meaning to be sick, and the word dere dere for love struck. Yandere is somebody who is lovesick. Somebody that's driven to insanity for their extreme obsession or love. Most yanderes are introduced as normal, cute, and harmless characters. They seem so innocent. However, that's only because they're seen interacting with their crush. Once a third character seems like they're getting too close to their love interest, they'll start to show how bonkers, loco, crazy they are. When you think of yandere, you probably think of characters like Gasai from Future Diary, and while that's not untrue, she is a yandere, there's plenty of forms of yandere. Keep in mind that the word just means mentally sick and in love, so not all yanderes are violent. We have the harmless type, as long as they're happy, I'm happy, kind of vibe. They're the most harmless type of yandere, as you would assume, since they are known as the harmless type. They have this unhealthy obsession with their love interest, but they don't do anything too crazy. They'll do their best to win over their love interest, but won't harm anybody in the way. If their crush gets in a relationship with somebody else, this yandere won't hurt anybody. They'll be happy that he or she or they found happiness, but they also might secretly still hope that one day, if they stay patient, you'll choose them. They can be viewed as a crazy, obsessive version of dere dere or a sweet, loyal version of yandere. The wrong idea type, they mistake kind acts for signs that their crush loves them. Like, say, for example, it's raining and the pro tag's like, oh, I have an umbrella. They'll think that means that pro tag is in love with them. Any sort of insignificant, a kind act is a sign of love to them. The dependence type, no, don't leave me, I can't live without you, that kind. They claim they can't live without their love interest and will beg them not to leave or abandon them. And trigger warning, which I think I put one in the beginning of the video, but in case I forget, this does deal with some themes of murder and self-harm, and suicide. Anyway, they claim that they will die or kill themselves if their love interest leaves. There's a stalker type, but I really shouldn't have to explain that one. There's the double suicide type. They believe that they can be together forever and all eternity in the afterlife. One thing about the yandere double suicide is that often their love interest doesn't want to suicide, so it's pretty one-sided. The self-harm type, instead of directing harm at any potential romance rivals, they inflict harm on themselves. This often happens when they're feeling ignored. The dependent type might evolve into this. There's two subtypes of this subtype of yandere. The first one is where they harm themselves in secret, and once their love interests notice the injuries, they say, oh, it's nothing to worry about, but secretly hope that they worry about it more. Second is one where they harm themselves in front of their love interest to guilt them into staying with them. There's many more, but I'm a lazy bitch and don't want to go into every single one. You get the idea. Let's go into the history of yandere. I went deep diving and searched extensively on the first page of Google to find the very first yandere ever, and I discovered something. It blew my mind. The very first yandere was born from my most favorite anime, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's right. The first yandere in Sawerudo is none other than Yukako Yamagishi. That, or I should have checked the second page of Google. Now, for those who don't know the lovely Yukaku, she is from Diamond is Unbreakable. Her stand is Love Deluxe, not to be confused with Love Deluxe, and what that means is her hair is wacky. Yukako is rather aggressive. She may or may not have done a few things that seemed bonkers, maybe even silly. I remember Koichi being a little bit scared, but you know what? She eventually won him over. That's right. Doing psycho shit works. Go get your man. Now, on to similar character types, let's go on to the Yangire. As we know, Yan means to be sick, and Gire means to snap. So now we just have a sick person who snapped. This has nothing to do with love. Sure, they can have a love interest, and we'll go into that in the third type of Yan. But it's not necessary for the character of Yangire, whereas Yandere, they need a love interest to be a Yandere. Having a love interest means nothing to a Yangire, or it has nothing to do with their character type, I should say. Their mental instability doesn't really have an effect on whether or not they have a love interest. A common type of Yangire is one that has gone through some sort of trauma, then snaps, goes on a killing spree after getting triggered. Yangire is very similar to Yandere. They both suffer from a very clear personality disorder. They easily become violent and dangerous. However, Yangire's are far more chaotic. A Yangire is a character who snaps suddenly. Unlike a Yandere, they are not motivated by love. So, while a Yandere acts with a love interest in mind, a Yangire is a lot more complicated than that. They can attack at random and they're a bit more free-spirited. There's just a lot more of a complexness there as to the reasons. The most well-known Yangire, I would say, I personally think, is probably Rina Ryuka from Higurashi. Shion Sonozaki from Higurashi is also a very good example of a Yandere, by the way. If you want to watch an anime that has both those character types, compare the two. I'm not sure who the first Yangire is. It wasn't on the first page of Google. I'm so sorry. So I'll give other Yangire examples because I'm really that cool. There's Junko Inoshima from Danganronpa. There's Light Yagami from Death Note, by the way. Misa is a Yandere, by the way, so that couple, I think, is actually a very great example of the similarities and differences of Yandere and Yangire. So you can see the Yangire and Light and the Yandere and Misa. You compare the two, I think they're a very good example of the two character types. Now lastly, the Yandegire. The Yandegire is a Yandere in love, basically a combination of Yandere and Yangire, and are the most dangerous Yan we have yet. A Yandere commits atrocities to people who are close to somebody they love. Their world revolves around their love interest, basically, whereas a Yangire is violent and kills for non-love related reasons. A Yandegire is a character who suffers from both these two types of Yan, for lack of a better word. They do not just kill for jealousy, but they also kill for non-love related reasons. A Yandegire character you may know is Lucy from... Is it Elfin Light or Elfin Lead? I've seen it pronounced both ways, and I don't want somebody to call me a silly dumb he had in the comments. It'll make me cry. But Lucy from Elfin whatever is a good example of a Yandegire. So I need you to do something for me, if that's okay. Can you do something for me, please? Are you ready to do the thing for me? Are you ready? Alright, thank you so much. What I need you to do is look at this graph and subscribe if you know what's good for ya. Anyway, thank you for learning with me today. Which type of Yan are you? Do you know a kind of Yan out there? Do you know somebody? If you know somebody IRL that's a type of Yan, I recommend running. But I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, okay? I hope you took notes. This is all going to be on the test.